Good morning, students. Good morning. గట్టిగా చెప్పాలి. Today we are going to take our prose lesson. The name of the lesson is The Grammar of Anarchy. The Grammar of Anarchy, the lesson. This was written by B.R. Ambedkar. So before entering into the lesson, we are going to see what are the things that are being given in this lesson that has to be followed by his speech. So what are the words that are there, and how do you understand this, the grammar of anarchy, and what are the words that are being given by the country which is going to be given with the celebration of our national festivals also. So then I think you all well known about the personality of B.R. Ambedkar, and what are the things that he has been mentioned in this lesson we shall have to discuss now. So B.R. Ambedkar, before entering into the lesson, just you should have to know the terms of the words there, and what are the words that are there within the lesson. We should have to recognize them, and you should have to understand the words that are being given into these given selective of the things there. And before entering into this lesson, you are going to see that you should have to know about some points. What are those points? And now we shall have to discuss those pre-reading activity of the questions which are being given from part of the thing now. Then before entering into the lesson, we should have to enroll. We should have to know the meaning of the words. What is anarchy? So you should have to get the answer. What is anarchy? And what is its opposite? Then what is its opposite of the meaning? And that also you should have to be given from the topic of that lesson. So what is anarchy, and what is the word opposite word of this anarchy, and whatever the things that are there, you should have to be seen the term of anarchy means. And we celebrate August 15th as Independence Day. You all know that we are going to celebrate these national festivals on these 2 days, and what is the significance of these 2 days also you will have to better know by the understanding of the words that are being given in this lesson. Then mm, what is the difference between them, you should have to notice there. And India became an independent country on August 15th 1947, whatever it is there. And what was the status of India before independence, that also you should have to know. And what was the status of this country before independence. Then what is a country, so that itself you should have to know. And what is a nation, what is a nation and what is a country. From these 2 points of the words also you should have to know both the words means the same, or just it will be a little difference. Countries, nations, and again you can see particularly the worldwide, that is also there. And lastly you can see that both words mean the same, or is there any difference between them. You should have to know that is there any difference between them also. Then what does the phrase unity in diversity, then you should have to see that what does the phrase unity in diversity mean. So that is also you should have to note. And how is it relevant to India? How is it relevant to India is there? How is it, how is unity different from this uniformity? And that you should have to go through these words of the lesson. These are the keywords of the lesson that are being forwarded from the words that are being given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Do you know the origins of the slogan? Now he is giving the another point, that do you know the origins of the slogan? Liberty, equality and fraternity. So these words are there. Liberty is there, equality is there and fraternity is there. And today it is also called the motto of the two countries. So you can also see that today is also the motto of the two countries. And do you know which are these countries are there? So you should have to find out the motto of the country. What is the slogan and what is the origin of that one, that has to be followed now in this lesson. Then what is anarchy and its opposite word, and the two, hey, then you are going to see what are the two significances of the two dates, and what are the celebrations of these national festivals are there, and you find any significance and difference between them, and when India became in the independent country, and what will be the position of India before independence, that also you should have to know. India became an independent country on August 15th. Then before entering into these lessons, just see what are the things. Grammar means you should have to know the term. Grammar is a set of rules or principles, and anarchy is a state of disorder due to the absence of non-recognition of authority or any other controlling power. So what is this anarchy is, that is a state of order, so that disorder is calculated due to the absence of non-recognition of authority there. So this is the set of disorder where you can find the options of non-recognition of authority there. So that is anarchy means the set of rules or principles are the state of disorder due to the absence of non-recognition of authority or any other controlling power. That can be taken as these anarchy. And what is the opposite word? Then you can give that it is a state of order there, and the rules and regulations how the countries or nations are being followed there. And object is there, ABJCET, terrible and without hope. Antipathy is there, and a strong feeling or dislike. And cred is there, a set of principles or religious belief there. And devolve, transfer of delegate powers to a lower level. You should have to see what are the videos that are being taken. These in the disaster means an occurrence causing widespread of these destruction, and disuse is there no longer in use. So before of these, what are the disorder things, and what are the works due to the options of the non-recognition of authority also, you should have to see the controlling of power. Then you should have to know that what was the being works done by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and you should have to see he is the person who is the father of this Indian constitution or the chief architect. Now about the author, about B.R. Ambedkar, we are going to see the chief person of himself, of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and his introduction is being given in this way. And what are these that are being taken is the chief architect of the Indian Constitution. the chief architect of the Indian Constitution and one of the markers of modern Indian nation. So he is one of the markers of the modern Indian nation. Then Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, or you can call him as B.R. Ambedkar, in the year of 1891. Just you should have to take the year is 1891 and 1956. So on he was born on April 14, 1891 in How in Madhya Pradesh. How now in Madhya Pradesh there. Then where he was born? Now in Madhya Pradesh, hailing from a community considered untouchable by Hindus. He was in Maunau in Madhya Pradesh. So this is the place in Madhya Pradesh. He belongs to the hailing from a community which is considered, that is untouchable by Hindus. Then you can also know that how the place of the position of the Hindus and which are being taken by these person. Ambedkar grew up experiencing the trauma of seclusion and discrimination. So he was grown up and he was grew up in that place by experiencing a difficult seclusion and discrimination. So what will be the words of these? Trauma means it is a bad situation, and seclusion means that a lot of troubles and the state of feelings which is made in the discrimination words of the people, those who are living at that side. He was encouraged by Maharaja of Baroda. He was encouraged by the Maharaja of Baroda. He went to Columbia University. Then slowly he went to Columbia University in the New York. So you should have to see and consider that he was encouraged by this Maharaja of Baroda. So that is the place of Maharaja where he was being encouraged. He went to Columbia University. New York, where he did his master's thesis. On the caste system. So he did all his appraisal work on the thesis of caste system and doctoral work on British finance in India. So he considered that the doctoral work on British finance in India, he did the thesis of that work, and he made this. This was the he also again made on the thesis of this caste system and also the doctoral work of this British finance in India. Full stop there, where you can see what will be the position of the finance of this person which is there in India. He was a social reformer. So now you can see he was a social reformer who fought for the fight of the rights of the people, from the deprived sections of society. So he fought for the people rights, whatever the rights and whatever the rules and regulations that are being taken by the person which was deprived from the sections of the society there. As the chairman of drafting committee of the constitution, then you can see as the chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution, he worked with Promethean Jewel. So he worked with Promethean Jewel to bring out a comprehensive document. So he worked with the Promethean Jail, and you can also see what will be the document was inclusive and had the capacity to hold the diverse populace, and it is the thing where you can see that it was being taken in the capacity of that one, what it was being there, and this was the capacity to hold the diverse populace of India together. He was awarded Bharat Ratna. So again, by all his works, he was again treated or awarded with he was awarded with Bharat Ratna and India's highest civilization honor. So this was the prestigious word for himself to receive or to get the award of Bharat Ratna, which is India's highest civilian honor in the year of posthumously. Posthumously means in the year, means after he was being death, he was being got in the year of 1991, where you can find himself. What happened to that record? It's continuing. How many minutes is it? See just
16, 17, 16, 20.
16 means fill half of it. So this India was the highest civilian honor posthumously in 1991. About the speech, now we are going to have this speech there, and what this speech consists of, you can see that the grammar of anarchy is an edited extract. When you are going to take these, the grammar of anarchy is an edited extract from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's closing speech of the Constituent Assembly on November 25th in the year of 1949. Then you can see that this is an edited extract of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's closing speech in the Constituent Assembly on November 25th, 1949. Just you see what this speech outlines is going to be given in these points. The diversity of India, the diversity of India, and it details the challenges of the country would face in implementing the constitution. So the challenges the country would face. So this the diversity of India, and it details the challenges the country they would face in implementing the constitution, emphasizing the need to build a nation on the basis of social equality. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar unfolds a roadmap that India needs to follow in order to hold its fragments and together and graduate from being a country to a full-fledged nation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's three advices give up the grammar of anarchy to avoid heroship. So, the three advices which are being given, and these are being taken by the people for a graduate from being a country to become full-fledged nation, and he gave up the rules of apartheid to avoid heroship and to work, means to avoid the heroship, and he has to work towards a social and just not for political democracy, and this continue to be relevant even today, and this should be the political democracy, and the continuation of this one should be a relevant topic for even today. So these are the lines which has to be learned from the speech of grammar of anarchy, which was being given by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. When we are going to into this extract, just see what are the points or what are the statements that are there in his honorable speech there. And now what this extract constitutes of, we can see speech by the Honorable Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Bombay General, in the Constituent Assembly of India. So the date is there on Friday, 25th November of 1949 and 26th January 1950 will be an independent country. Just you remind the celebration of the independent country which was being celebrated as the Republic Day. What would happen to her independence? Will she maintain her independence or will she lose it again? So this is the first thought that comes to my mind. Then giving what are the things. It is not India was never an independent country. The point is that just she once lost the independence she had, we lose it a second time. So is the fact that no, only India was once before lost her independence, but she lost it by indefinitely or infidelity and trickery of some of her own people. Will history repeat itself? It is the thought which fills me with anxiety, and it fills me with the anxiety that India betrays that this is the fact that India has only before lost her independence, she lost it by the thought which she fills me with anxiety there. And this anxiety is depended by the realization of the fact that in addition to our old enemies in the form of these castes, creeds, and we are going to have many political parties with diverse and opposing with the political creeds there. And this anxiety is deepened by the realization of the fact that in addition to our old enemies in the form of these castes and creeds, we should have to find out our own itself to find out of these trickery with the having of our independence there. Will history repeat itself? Like that only is questioning there, and it is the thought which fills me with anxiety over there. And this anxiety is dependent by the realization of fact that in addition to our enemies in the form the caste and creeds were going to have many political parties, and you can see of these words there many political parties with diverse and opposing of the political creeds. will indians place will Indians place the country above their creed, and they will place creed above country? I do not know, but this much is certain that if the parties place creed above the country, our independence will be put in jeopardy a second and probably be lost forever. And you are going to see that this is the thing which is going to be seen if it is there with the political parties in the place of this caste creed and above the country, our independence will be put in a jeopardy at a second time, means it will be in a some sort of changing in the making of the rules of steps there. Our independence will be put in jeopardy second time, probably that may be lost forever. This eventuality we must resolutely guard against there, and we must be determined to defend our independence with the last drop of our blood. So we should have to see what is the thing that is being there, so that you should have to see that this eventually help re-absolutely guard against that must be determined to defend our independence with the last drop of our blood. And what is the thing that has to be taken there? That should have to be taken from the continuation part of the paragraph which is being taken now. So what is that? We must be determined to defend our independence to the last, means we should have to work hard to get the last drop of that one. On the 26th January of 1950, India would be a democratic country. So on the 26th January of 1950, lastly, India would be a democratic country in the sense from that day there, and that would have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The same thought comes to my mind. What would happen to her democratic constitution there? Will she be able to maintain, or will she lose it again? And now it is the time to see what had happened, that India would be a democratic country in the sense of India. From that day would have the government of the people, it says, by the people and for the people. The same thought comes to my mind. What would happen to her democracy of constitution? Will she able to maintain it, or will she lose it again? This is the second thought that comes to my mind and makes me an anxious as the first one. So, if at all it crosses 31 minutes also, okay. Huh? Okay. So, that is the thing which is going to be maintained in these happen there. And will she lose it again? And this is the second thought that comes to my mind and makes many anxious as the first there, and that is to be seen by the thing that has to maintain the losing of the thought of that comes to the mind there. It is not that India did not know what democracy is. There was a first time when India was studied with republics. So it is the there was a first time when India was studied with republics, and even there were monarchies, and they were either elected or limited. They were never absolute, and it is not that India did not know the parliaments or parliamentary procedure. Now it is saying that it is not that India did not know what democracy is. Now he is giving what that India did not know what the democracy is. So there was a time when India was studied with the republics, and even where there were monarchies, means wherever the set of rules are being given, and these were elected or limited, they were never absolute. It is not that India did not know parliaments or parliamentary procedure. A study of the Buddhist Bhikshu Sanghas discloses only there were parliaments. For that Sanghas were nothing but parliaments, but the Sanghas knew and observed all the rules of parliamentary procedure known to the modern times. Although these rules of parliamentary procedure were applied by the Buddhas to the meetings of the Sanghas, he must have borrowed them from the rules of political assemblies functioning in the country or his time. So there itself you can see that this was applied. Then a study of Buddhist bhikshu. So now you can see what will be the rules of these Buddhism. And a study of Buddhist bhikshu sanghas discloses that there were only parliamentarian rules are being observed, and the procedures were applied by the Buddha to the meetings of the sanghas. He must have borrowed them from the rules of the political assemblies and functioning in the country in his time. And this is the paragraph which are being seen by the rules of Buddhas, which are being taken by these sanghas, procedure of the parliamentary situation there. And this democratic system India lost. Will she lose it a second time? I don't know. What is quite possible in a country? I don't know what is quite possible in a country like India. Then you see first where the country is India, where democracy from its long disuse must be regarded as something quite new. There is a danger of democracy giving place. So there is a democracy giving. So there is a democracy of change giving in the place to the dictatorship. And it is quite possible for this newborn baby of democracy to retain its form but give place to dictatorship. In fact, if it is there a landslide, the danger of the second possibility becoming an actually much greater. You can see what is the thing that is going on. If there is landslide, the danger of the second possibility is becoming an actuality is much greater. If we wish to maintain democracy merely in form but also in fact, what must we do? The first thing in my judgment we must do is to hold to fast constitutional methods of achieving our social and economic objectives there. And if we wish to maintain democracy not merely in form but also in fact, we must do the first thing in my judgment we must do is to hold fast to constitutional methods of achieving our social economic objectives. It means we must abandon on the bloody methods of revolution, and it means that we must abandon the method of civil obedience, non-cooperation and satyagraha movement. When there was no way left for constitutional methods for achieving economical and social objectives, there was great deal of justification of unconstitutional methods. We shall see that these constitutional methods are open and there can be no justification for these unconstitutional methods. These methods are nothing but grammar of anarchy, and the sooner they abandon, they are better for us. So, we shall continue in the next part of the session.